Hello there and welcome to this week's edition of Crazy Critique. Now, the newly theatrically released film that I've been to see this week was a film that none of us saw coming at all, and that's even people who were well trenched within the film world. So, the film in question was 10 Cloverfield Lane. Now, for those who do not know, with Cloverfield in the title, this is a film as described by the makers of this film, a film with the same DNA as the film Cloverfield from, was that 6, 7, 8 years ago. Now, for those who don't know, the film Cloverfield was a film that was a found footage film produced by J.J. Abrams and directed by Matt Reeves. That pretty much took the world by, not by storm, but by surprise in terms of its effect on the cinematic world. It focuses on effectively an attack on New York by what? The whole point of the trailer before that film was, we do not know, and it is for you to watch the film to find out. So I will leave it with you, if you've not seen Cloverfield, to seek the first film out first, but I will possibly be doing slight spoilers regarding what goes on in this film in relation to the first Cloverfield film. So here we have 10 Cloverfield Lane. Is that simple enough for you? So yes, like I said, the makers have described it as a film with the same DNA, or at least has this it's kind of set in the same world. At what point in the world we do not know, as the film effectively starts out with our main lead, who is Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who it appears has just broke up with her boyfriend, and is effectively, she's packed all her stuff away and gets driving on the highway, obviously to go somewhere we do not know. On this journey on the highway, she unfortunately is involved in a car crash, and we are then obviously taken through her sort of eye point of view of this, and we are woken in a room. What room? We do not know. So it's then all about her. See, this is the problem with this sort of film now. I've described sort of slightly part of the plot, but it's not really going to. Oh my god, this is so hard to sort of review story-wise because there's so much spoilers to be had. So we wake up in this room with her, and it would appear to be like sort of a basement, or certainly some sort of submerged room that is free from outside contact. So the first thought is she has clearly been, whether she has been hit off the road on purpose or whether it was an accident, we do not know. But she's clearly been kidnapped, possibly, at this point in time. So, sorry, just lost my thread there. Apologies. Then we get effectively a knock on the door, a noise at the door, and who pops in? It is John Goodman, giving her some food, effectively telling her that the world. There's some sort of disaster out in the world, and he has effectively saved her life by bringing her down to this bunker, which is what effectively this is. This is effectively what is John Goodman's bunker. Now, whether he's deemed at the beginning of the film whether she's a prisoner or not is to be interpreted, isn't it? Because effectively, although she is in this room, she allowed freedom to go outside of this room, and it appears there was somebody else down there as well, and it is actually John Gallagher Jr., the actor from The Newsroom, who I really, really do love. He is a really, really entertaining actor. He's not very well known, it must be said, within the community, unless maybe you've seen something like that. But I think John Gallagher Jr. is also another individual who was also apparently, effectively, upon hearing or seeing things that were going on regarding the end of the world or some sort of disaster, has effectively gone to John Goodman's bunker and said, let me in, I want to get down there because he helped him build this bunker. So that is the how we get to our three main characters in this situation, and then it's a film completely set within these, well, four walls. Four walls of a bunker. Now, the film itself, to describe it, how would I describe this film? You can't. Because there were so many genres in play. Now, now describing the genres, is that going to spoil aspects of the film? That's what has got to go through my mind as I'm going to do it. Right, okay, so it starts off as sort of like a drama. It turns out to maybe it has certainly elements of horror. in there regarding, is she being kidnapped? Is she their prisoner? Is what John Goodman's saying true? Or is this just purely an elaborate thing in order to keep her down there? Yes, it's all into interpretation, obviously, throughout the film. There's claustrophobic thriller is certainly the main genre you're setting yourself. It is setting itself upon in here, but there's also, now come on, it's linked to Cloverfield, so it's not going to be spoiling too much. There's elements of science fiction in there, right? So there we have slight drama, we have claustrophobic thriller, we have elements of sci-fi and elements of horror in there. So it's a film that is certainly not set about being one particular type of film, and I think the film is all the better for it because it keeps you guessing throughout the film. I really, really did like this film. And that is one of the main reasons why, because at no moment did I know what was going to happen next. It did keep surprising me with certain aspects and certain particular revelations regarding storyline and character. So it's a film that plays with its audience. And the film is all the better for it. Down to the performance of the three, I think all three leads are very, very good. It's fair to say John Goodman does an awful lot of films. So whenever you see his name pop up on a film, you think, okay, is he going there for the paycheck, or is he going there for possibly the material? In this case here, he had a character to play with, and certainly has the material, and he obviously the know about as an actor himself to put in a great performance, really. Because John Goodman, because he's such an affable guy and actor, he can play. Is he nice? Is he bad? That's the spoiler in the film itself, isn't it, for me to sort of explain it? But he can play both of those sides extremely well. That's all I'm going to say. So, great work by John Goodman, and in particular, I'd say, great generally by the cast, but also great by the people involved in making the film. Now, Cloverfield itself, from 8 years ago, took the cinema world a bit by storm. Here, until the trailer was released in January, nobody had a clue this was occurring, or there was some sort of sequel or prequel or whatever what you'll call this film, in-world tie-in, going to be coming out in relation to Cloverfield. So, fantastic work. Obviously, it's fair to say J.J. Abrams, the producer on this film, is a man who has probably had an awful lot of questions fired at him regarding Star Wars, so there's no attention whatsoever, particularly in the last, because he went from Cloverfield to do like Star Trek and then to Star Wars. It sort of died down, the sort of questions about whether there'd be some sort of Cloverfield sequel or future film. So it worked perfectly well, because no one's asking about Star Wars, no one's asking about this film. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And the trailer encapsulated what the film is all about. The unknown. Because the trailer gives you nothing really, but it intrigues you very much, which is exactly like the film itself. So I really, really enjoyed the way they played about and putting together this film, and the fact that it was one of the writers in this film was Damien Chazelle. Damien Chazelle, now I'm gonna say Whiplash, that is the film he written directed last year, was one of my favourite, has been one of my favourite films of the last, well, it came out last year, January, here in the UK, so it's one of my favourite films of the last, 14 months or so? 14, 15 months? Without a doubt, because it was a film that had such great writing and great character development, and you can see his touches on the script here as well, in terms of creating. It's the slight, not big comparisons, but the slight comparisons to be had with John Goodman's and oh damn it, oh flipping it, J.K. Simmons' character in a way is that there's stuff about him that's really interestingly nice, and then certainly some dark elements there going on with him, but you don't know what they are exactly. So there's certain things that he can bring to a script that has been proven again here with this film. So nicely written script by, I'm going to really give credit to the other writers on this, either Matt Stueckman even, and Josh Campbell. But Damien Chazelle, you can certainly see his touches on this script. Dan Trachtenberg is a director who, this is his first film, and I think this is a fantastic debut film. Yeah, just fabulous work. So and it's an hour and 45 minutes this film. Perfectly timed, and there's I'm not gonna lie, there's certain moments in the film where you think, is it going a bit too much? I don't know, is it going a bit too far with playing with the audience? It could certainly be accused of it, but I found it an extremely fascinating to film watch, because like I say, I didn't really have a clue where exactly what it was going to go, because it was merging genres, it was merging styles, and at no point was I going, I know what's going to happen. So yes, I found it a very, very entertaining watch, and were a worthy film of your attention. 10 Cloverfield Lane, certainly, as it's been described as a science fiction psychological thriller, with elements of horror and drama. So yeah, there we go. 10 Cloverfield Lane, really, really worth your attention as a film. There we go. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So my classic film of the week is a film. How to describe this film? The film is Team America World Police. Now, these are words I thought I'd say. Team America World Police is my classic film of the week. Because, let's face it, okay, I'm going to put my head at hand. I'm going to make this obvious from the start. I'm a massive Matt Stone and Trey Parker fan. I'm a massive South Park fan. It is pretty much, when someone says, for all those people who are massive Friends fans or massive Big Bang Theory fans, South Park is my comedy show, and it's a show that is still relevant today, even if certain episodes are waning in certain things. But it's a film that is a series, and as writers can always be relevant because they are writing what they're seeing in the news. And given this film was released in 2004, it is a film that is heavily indebted to the Iraqi invasion, or especially American foreign policy since 9/11. So they've had 3 years of material to work with, and in fact they've worked things into South Park, and you can see where they've took things from the South Park episodes they've done and then written them into the film here again. So they know what they're doing in terms of political satire, or just satire in general, to be honest, never mind political. So the film focuses effectively, and now I'm not even describing one of the main aspects of the film, and the fact that it is a film made with puppets. So it's done in the style of Thunderbirds. That is what it's done in. When I say it's done in the style of Thunderbirds, it is literally done in the style of Thunderbirds. In fact, you can see the lines, the strings of the puppets there. They are not trying to hide the fact that this is a puppet-made animation. Let's see, animation film, and they are playing with that superbly in a comedic aspect. Trey Parker is the one directing, and obviously they've both written the film. Matt Stone produces it, with help obviously from Scott Rudin, an extremely established producer. The film is 1 hour 40 minutes. To be honest, you could have it even longer, because there's certainly aspects of their style of comedy that will not detract but deter people, possibly. They certainly do like to go for a bit of gross out humour. But the thing is, they encompass that with an extremely clever satirical edge, which is always evident in their work. And there's so many moments in this film that are so quotable. The thing is that you couldn't hardly repeat them to a general audience. That's the problem. So it's an extremely quotable film. It's a film kind of that has hit the zeitgeist in terms of it's kind of a Zoolander effect, in my opinion. In that it certainly was quite a significant effect on the industry at the time, but it's a film that is, with what has gone on since in the political world, is even more relevant, isn't it? Because of the way that effectively this team is set up with a bunch of people. I'm not even described the plot. Sorry. Apologies. Yeah. So effectively, you have a group of a team that is effectively hell-bent on stopping terrorism around the world. Only they do it in their own way. In fact, in order to try and do this, they effectively don't have any shame in sort of going to other people's countries and destroying landmarks and offending everybody. So the general American way at the time. That could be said. So, yes, that's your setup of the team. One of the main puppet characters dies at the beginning of the film, so then a new recruit is needed. What do they do? Where do they get this new recruit? They, of course, go to Broadway and hire an actor, because there's nobody. But what is spying? Spying is acting. God damn it! Says Spotswood, the guy who performs the team and is their boss, effectively. So they get this character who's effectively an actor, and yeah, they go about trying to save the world and stop Kim Jong-il, the North Korean dictator. And with the political comedy and satire that South Park has, It is absolutely hilarious. I'm sorry, the film is absolutely hilarious. If you can't find, I mean, the fact that they play up that side, they've played up this sort of thing before, be it liberals and conservatives against each other. In this case, the liberals obviously are formed in the fact of like the Film Actors Guild, or FAG as they're known in the film, led by Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin. He's the greatest actor in the world, you know. So they put the liberals in terms of looking at how actors tend to be very, very into, without always really knowing the full facts of the agenda. Sometimes it may be fair to say. So yeah, he plays up the liberals sort of very side of it, and obviously the Team America side, which is a very just the gung ho, let's go kill terrorists sort of angle, without any sort of repercussions. And it's like there's a fantastic speech that is effectively done in the midst of the film where Gary, the guy, is on a bit of a question of conscience whether he should be part of the team or whether he should not because he's acting getting people killed, and there's a guy comes to in a bar and he's drunk and gives him one hell of a speech that you will never forget if you really hear this speech. It's a speech that is. The speech in itself is a quote, one hell of a quote, and a way of, yeah, it's fantastic. So and the musical segments, we all know that Trey Parker and Matt Stone do musical segments fantastically well, from South Park and how and obviously since they've done the musical The Book of Mormon, so they have a fantastic eye for satire, a fantastic ear for musical and how to use the music in the film. So many memorable songs in this film, and so fun to sing. Fabulous work all around, to be honest. I think it's one of those, it is a classic comedy, and it's very hard sometimes to sort of justify saying a comedy is a classic, because comedy can be all about interpretation if you find that sort of thing funny. But I think this is a comedy that has so many elements going for it. If you can't even find one aspect of it to like, I think you're in trouble as a film viewer. Fabulously funny, fabulously satirical, fabulously relevant, and just downright out of the park funny. There we go. So Team America World Police is my classic film of the week. Whoever thought I'd say that. So there we go, yeah, that was my classic film of the week, and my theatrical release film of the week was 10 Cloverfield Lane. Very, very enjoyable film there. Yes. Thank you if you have been watching. I do hope you've enjoyed what I've had to say, and I do hope to see and speak to you again very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.